ESPN 100, Miles Turner. He'll ride into his senior season tonight and lead the way as Homeschool Christian takes on Trinity. We're in Euless, Texas tonight. You're tuned into the Geico ESPN High School Showcase from Trinity High School. We are so glad to have you along here tonight to get the high school basketball season underway. It's Homeschool Christian against Trinity. Mike Cousins with Paul Biancardi, ESPN's National Director of Recruiting. Thanks for joining us here on what's a chilly Thursday night in North Texas. Well, it's great to get this high school season started, Paul. And when we look at the big picture of basketball, we know all about this class of 2013. They're the current crop of college freshmen. But this class of 2014, some of the seniors we're going to see tonight, what do we need to know about the class of 2014?
Well, the seniors have plenty of star power. In fact, when you look at the top of this class, the big men, they stand out. They're game changers. The small forward position is deep and talented. Tonight, we're going to see two of the best in those positions. What a great way to start the season.
Well, let's start with a near 7-footer and our players to watch, Miles Turner.
Well, Turner's a game changer. He's the best shot blocker in the country, and he does so with excellent timing. Offensively, his jumper is his best weapon. There's no denying his upside. It's tremendous. The number 8 player in the nation, Justin Jackson. His versatility allows him to score the basketball from anywhere in the floor. His middle game is what separates him from his peers. He signed with North Carolina.
So Jackson for HCYA, ranked number 8 in the ESPN 100, committed to UNC. Miles Turner uncommitted as of right now. We'll talk more about that coming up. He's number 2. Starting lineups tonight. Homeschool Christian only has 8 players on its roster. Their offense revolves around Jackson. 32 points a game for him in 11 games so far. On the other side, Miles Turner leads the way for Trinity High School with 2 Smiths, Josh Brown and Adrian Wong, their point guard. In the white and red tonight for Euless Trinity High School. HCYA, the road team from about 3 hours away in Houston, in the purple and white.
Mike, when you talk about the class of 2014, Justin Jackson and Miles Turner in this game, they're 2 of the top 5 guys that have the most potential in this class for the next level.
They don't start off guarding one another. Adrian Wong tasked with guarding Jackson, who turns around and starts the scoring 2-0.
We talked about the middle game. It's what separates him. He takes him inside the arc and outside the paint and rises up and makes this jump shot right over Wong. You won't see them really guard each other. Turner's going to have a hard time covering Jackson because Jackson likes to play on the perimeter.
Wong with a triple. Rebound. Stays here. Ryan Smith had it and lost it. Early full court pressure. This is Elijah Lee. And that's the difficulty that Turner creates defensively. He's trying to score inside against him.
He really does a great job of protecting the rim, both in the low post and up to the high post area.
Jackson turns, misses, and Turner snares the miss.
Now, Turner's got to be careful before he throws the outlet. He's got to make sure his point guard is looking at him before he makes the pass.
Head coach Mark Valines for Euless Trinity says that Miles Turner, not only their best scorer, but he's also their best passer.
He does a great job of reading double teams out of the post, Turner.
Runaway, Elijah Lee. And a short-range miss.
Now, Trinity wants to run up and down the floor, but they got to wait for Turner. He's their best option inside.
He's got position now on Jackson in the post.
It's hard not to find him inside, Mike. You just got to lob it up there. Throw it high to a big man. He'll catch it. Double high screen. They're going to roll Turner to the basket. Nice high-low right there.
Turns around and puts it in right over the top of Jackson.
That's beautiful execution by Trinity. Ball screen, throw it back, throw it in.
And with no shot clock here in the state of Texas, teams can take as long as they like to get their offense set up. When you got a player like Turner, you want to try and wait as long as you can to get him the ball.
And you want to have him touch the ball every possession. Such a great passer and a shooter. You want to run the offense to him and through him.
Jackson missed it off the screen. Tipped out of bounds, and it goes back to Euless Trinity. Mike Decker, his first year as head coach with Homeschool Christian, 20th year of involvement with the program. They get their tryouts going in September. They only practice, though, 2 days a week. So they have to get a lot of work done in those 2 days.
Players can't complain about fatigue, I guess. They've had some notable alumni. Chicken Knowles at the University of Houston. Jesse Sanders at Liberty. Some good players have come out of here.
And there's Mark Valines in his 6th season as head coach with Trinity, his 11th year with the program. Doubles as a sophomore world history teacher here at the school.
This is the prize right here in the senior class. The top unsigned player in the nation. Miles Turner can change the game both offensively and defensively.
Jackson brings it over midcourt for Homeschool Christian. Hughes into the lane. And he fires from 3, in and out. Put back on the back end by J.J. Decker, the head coach. That's his son.
You know he's going to get a lot of PT tonight. No, he's actually a good shooter, full of determination, J.J. Decker.
3.5 minutes in, HCYA by 1. Turner long on that short corner jumper.
Now interesting, Justin Jackson, 44 in the purple, he's going to cover Miles Turner on the defensive end. He can handle him inside. He's the tallest player on this homeschool Christian team.
Those two got to know each other pretty well back in the first week of October at Team USA basketball for the developmental national team, working there with a lot of the nation's best players. Clark misses, the senior off the mark.
See the versatility of Jackson, getting the rebound, bringing the ball up the floor, and throwing it ahead. Missed an easy layup.
How about even on that miss, though, Elijah Lee, he feels Turner's presence. And they feel it even more. It's a long 2 for the senior.
When you're 6'11" and your best weapon is a three-point shot, you have plenty of upside left in your game. In fact, Turner has to get better into the low post. He's most comfortable facing the basket.
Jackson off back iron. Slow shooting start for HCYA.
Nice kick out.
Hughes on the drive, rejected by Turner.
He looked like an eraser at the top of a pencil. Just come in and get that out of here.
Starts a fast break, and it goes back the other way. Timeout on the floor.
Miles Turner, the nation's #2 player. A little jump hook in the lane from a nice high-low. Trail, three-point shot. Puts a little dribble into it.
Geico ESPN High School Basketball Showcase is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And Discover Card. Now that's a game changer.
We welcome you back to Euless, Texas, where the hometown Trinity Trojans have a 1-point lead over Homeschool Christian. A few minutes gone by here in the first quarter. Homeschool Christian from just outside of Houston. More than 20 years they've been pooling together the homeschool players from around the area. Last year, boy, they play a busy schedule. They played 48 games last year and took home the Texas homeschool title.
And this season, they're going to be playing in Flying to the Hoop in Dayton, Ohio. A big event in January. They have prime prep on their schedule. And then, of course, the National Homeschool Tournament at the end of the season. Very challenging and competitive schedule for this team.
Tonight, 2 of the top 10 players in the ESPN 100. That's Justin Jackson on the baseline drive. #8 in the country, headed to North Carolina, and puts his team up by 1.
When you watch Justin Jackson play, you can just see how comfortable he is from anywhere on the floor to put the ball in the basket.
Through contact, Turner misses and follows.
As he gets stronger, those finishes will come on the first possession. Right now, he's at the rim. Good pass. Throw it up high to the big fella. Couldn't finish the first one, stayed with it. Great persistency by Miles Turner.
1 of 3 from the stripe for Turner. Something all big guys work on when they get to college is free throw shooting. Penetration from Hughes, who gets the bucket to go and the foul.
You know, Mike, you talked about free throw shooting for big guys. The best big guys in the country, whether it's college or NBA, they have to make their free throws. A percentage of their points, about 25%, need to come from the foul line.
Foul is charged to number 23, Cameron Wilson.
7-6, Trinity in the lead after the Turner slam. Inbounds pass almost goes out of bounds on the sideline.
Good
and it's
defense.
tipped away.
Great defense by Trinity. Excellent hustle right there by Josh Hughes. Get that ball back.
Jackson has it poked away. Now on the run out. This is Wong, their senior point guard. 2-time second team all-district player. From the edge, C.J. Bird in and out. Turner the board. And a finish.
Miles Turner doing a good job on the offensive glass. For all the things he does well, he's just an average to good rebounder. So that's a great sign for Trinity that he's hitting the glass. Sometimes he likes to leak out or get back and not engage himself so much on the glass.
Mark Valines, who's head coach, told us they have to go through an array of options. There's J.J. Decker for 3. An array of options to get Turner open, because at this level, he's going to be double and triple team, and they want to use high ball screens for him, pick and roll, however they can find him to help him score.
Well, you saw that one possession. They set the double high screen, and he rolled to the basket. Sometimes with the big guys, you got to take them away from the basket to get them back inside. And that's why Miles Turner is such a good passer. He's been double teamed the last couple of years of his career, so he understands where the double's coming from and how to read it. You see Trinity right there on the dribble coming down on Justin Jackson.
Turner with yet another block, and it leads to a turnover out of bounds off of Josh Hughes.
You can see the game plan for both of these teams is to double the star for the other team. And that's going to leave open shots for the other players.
Even so far, about 7 minutes gone by here in the first quarter, locked at 9.
Little shuffle cut to a ball screen. Nice pick and pop.
That's a nice shot. 2 from Turner. Watched him in practice yesterday afternoon, and he is so comfortable shooting from the perimeter.
Very smooth, very confident. You know, he was always very painfully thin as a freshman and sophomore, so he couldn't bang inside in the post, and he had to learn how to shoot and handle. That's why he's such a skilled big man.
That one tipped. Third altered shot by Turner. Gets it outside.
You see the pass by Turner. As soon as he caught it, he knew he was in a position not to score. He kicks it out to his teammate right away. Good recognition by the big man.
Justin Jackson fouled under the basket. 25 seconds to go in the first. One of the nation's top players highlights ESPNU's Big 12 SEC Challenge Friday. Marcus Smart and the Cowboys host the Gamecocks. The Big 12 SEC Challenge with Coach Frank Martin and the South Carolina Gamecocks against the number 9 Oklahoma State Cowboys. Friday, 9:30, ESPNU live on Watch ESPN. Miles Turner will be there
for his official visit.
Right, he'll be going up with his dad, David, making the drive to Stillwater.
He's already visited Ohio State. He's going to visit Oklahoma State this weekend. Plans on visiting Kentucky. And then he's kind of on hold for those last 2 visits, Father David told us before the game.
Last shot of quarter number 1 into the hands of Jackson, and that is off the mark. Trinity by 2 at the end of 1 quarter, but it's been all about the stars so far. Miles Turner, 11 points. Justin Jackson on the other end. Feed the big man. He's got skill all over the court. ESPN High School Showcase here in Euless, Texas tonight. Trinity, the hometown team, by 2, led by Miles Turner.
This guy has the complete package. Just after 1 quarter, he's 5 for 7 from the field, 4 rebounds, 3 block shots. He's most comfortable facing the basket. He protects the rim on defense, starting to rebound better. That's why he's the nation's #2 player and still unsigned.
Got to figure out where he's headed. His list is down to 7. He told us he's great when facing the basket, but what about his ability to block and alter shots?
I believe he's the best in the nation. The way he does it is with excellent timing, great length, and his ability to jump second. He doesn't just try to swat the ball out of bounds and commit a lot of fouls. He's perfecting the art of the block shot.
He didn't always have that length. He's grown a lot in recent years. He wears a size 21 shoe. I don't know about you, but you can't buy that in a store.
Shaquille O'Neal, 23. Bob Lanier, size 22, are the only 2 guys that I know that played the game that have a bigger foot than Miles Turner.
Three-pointer good from the freshman Javon Jackson. It makes it a 5-point lead. Yeah, his dad David told me the last time he could buy shoes in a store was his sophomore year, just when he was a size 18.
You know, some guys go to big and tall stores. He goes to big and very tall stores. Enormous wingspan on Miles Turner. There it is again.
Block shot. 3-on-1. And a block at the other end. Josh Hughes, the senior, with the rejection. Hughes tipped it out, so it'll stay Trojans basketball on the baseline. Jalen Jackson looking to get it in.
Good job. Spot.
His dad Leroy played at Oregon State back in the early 90s. And he triggers. Off the mark. Taken away.
The superstars, Justin Jackson and Miles Turner, have showed up. Let's see what the supporting cast can do for each of these teams. That's the team that has the best chance to win this game.
Well, with this roster, and a very short one, that Homeschool Christian has 8 players, and they don't go 8 deep all that often. Their practices involve a lot of running, and their head coach, Mike Decker, says that it's a lot, too. They rely on their players to work out at home, and when they come to practice, he knows who hasn't been working out.
I like their execution and their unselfishness for a team that only practices twice a week.
Jackson missed the 3. He's now 2 of 7 from the floor, so the defensive plan has worked well for Trinity so far.
You thought that one was going in, didn't you? I mean, Miles Turner has such a smooth stroke. Practiced that when he was younger, and as he got stronger, he got closer to the basket.
Double team came in, and Jackson got the shot off before Turner arrived.
Jackson just has an uncanny middle game. His ability to score inside the arc, outside the paint, second to none in this class. You see the arc he had to put on that for Turner not to get a piece of it? Outstanding.
That's swatted away. J.J. Decker had a hand on it. Hughes on the run. And he's fouled before the shot. ESPN News coverage of college basketball continues Saturday with a twin bill. First at noon, the Texas Longhorns battle the Temple Owls. At 7, the Tar Heels host in-state rival UNC Greensboro. College basketball continues Saturday at noon and 7 on ESPNU. Both games also live on Watch ESPN. UNC looking forward to the arrival of Justin Jackson, and the Tar Heels are riding high after last night's win in East Lansing.
After getting out-rebounded against UAB, they out-rebounded one of the best rebounding teams in the country in Michigan State. I'll be calling that game Saturday night for North Carolina. Outstanding class that they have, recruiting. Number 4 in the country. Led by this guy right here, Justin Jackson. Number 44 in the purple. They have Joel Berry, Theo Pinson. Just an unbelievable class of winners coming to Hall of Fame coach Roy Williams.
Justin Jackson told us before the game, hasn't talked to Roy Williams yet after that win. Probably a little bit too busy celebrating, he said.
How about the left hand by Miles Turner? We know he can shoot it with his right hand over his left shoulder. Beautiful little jump hook by the big fella.
He's playing with great confidence right now. 6 of 9 from the floor for the number 2 player in the country.
Now, the competition is not that strong. He doesn't have big bodies on him or a lot of height, but he still has to make that shot, and that's a good sign for Turner inside.
Well, Ulish and Miles Turner got great competition playing in Illinois last week. 27 blocks over 4 games for Miles Turner. (19-14), Trinity by 5 over HCYA here in the second quarter. Jackson a miss, tip follow, no.
Miles Turner, 33 in the whites, just playing a one-man zone. Giving weak side help to his team, trying to change the shot of Justin Jackson.
And that's a lot of endurance required for a big man like Turner.
You can see him a little tired, resting on his knees. And the baseline out of bounds. And the great big guy's got to be able to run the floor.
Into Jackson, he gets it to go. Makes it a 3-point contest.
I mean, the ability to catch and release so quick, Justin Jackson. Such a soft touch. And such a difficult range, that mid-range.
Turner steps in, blocked away by Jackson. That starts a fast break. HCYA down the floor, off the backboard, rejected by Turner. Hughes follows. A 1-point game now. Turner got there, nobody else did.
For Trinity High School, they got to make sure that they don't just watch Miles Turner. They have to help him on the floor.
He wants to shoot that 3, and for good reason. 6'11" with a stroke.
That time a little cross screen in the lane. He popped open. You love the way he gets his feet set quickly, those 21 size shoes. His ability to square up and release without hesitation. Miles Turner with the left hand inside. Justin Jackson gets rid of it quick. 2 points.
Certainly a big day in the sports world and big day in the high school basketball world as we get our coverage underway here. And there he is, Billy Kennedy, Texas A&M head coach, made the 3-hour trip up here to watch Justin Jackson, Miles Turner, HCYA, and Euless. You know, it's a chilly day here in Dallas. We had ice, maybe some snow coming down.
Billy Kennedy has a really good guard coming in next year by the name of Alex Robinson from Arlington, Texas. Coach Kennedy doing a really good job at Texas A&M. And he's, you know, in the conversation with Miles Turner. Miles doesn't have them on his official list, but he told me, you know what? I really like Coach Kennedy, and I'm going to give Texas A&M a look.
Justin Jackson, 10 points, up to 11 now. Turner with 16. Jackson chose North Carolina over Arizona, Ohio State, Texas A&M, UVA, and the University of Washington.
North Carolina is getting themselves a complete small forward in Justin Jackson.
1-on-1 and 1. Well, coming up tomorrow, one of the most talented freshmen in the country headlines ESPN's journey to the tourney is Julius Randle, and the #3 Kentucky Wildcats represent the SEC against Big 12 standout Isaiah Austin and the #20 ranked Baylor Bears. The Big 12 SEC Challenge, part of the journey to the tourney, tomorrow at 10 on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. Potentially 80,000 in the seats for that one at AT&T Stadium, home of the Cowboys.
And don't forget, Baylor went into Rupp Arena last year and stopped that winning streak by John Calipari. 55 in a row, non-conference wins. I'm sorry, 55 games in a row at home that they've won. So Kentucky out for a little revenge tomorrow.
That'll be a fun game for Julius Randle, who's from Dallas. Get a lot of family and friends in the crowd.
He's playing amazing for Kentucky, Julius Randle. Just getting double-doubles. 7 games so far. Leads the nation in double-doubles as a freshman.
3 tries for Adrian Wong puts Trinity up 7 with 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Jackson has liked that corner tonight, and he's fouled by Wong. Paul, you were just talking about Julius Randle averaging 18 points a game, double-digit rebounds as well. And these are guys that we saw in the class of 2013. This high school circuit, the seniors of today are the star college freshmen of tomorrow.
No question about it. And Julius Randle, he's pulling down 29% of Kentucky's rebound. That's the best of any freshman in the nation. And Kentucky, one of the best rebounding teams in the country. It's going to be a great battle against Baylor. You think of the size of Kentucky, Willie Cauley-Stein, Dakari Johnson, the power of Julius Randle. And Baylor has Ricardo Gathers, big, strong, wide body, Isaiah Austin, Corey Jefferson. That's a game of athletes and size in the front court.
Paul, we also have to mention today sad news to report. Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa and Nobel Peace Prize award winner, passed away at the age of 95. And a man of many words, but one that ties into the sports world is a quotation from him where he said, "Sport has the power to change the world, the power to inspire, and it has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. Sport can awaken hope where there was previously only despair." A great quotation about sport and the life that Nelson Mandela led. 2:56 in the second quarter. Trinity led by Miles Turner, the #2 player in the ESPN 100 right now, with 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 blocks. If you were to tell a player before a game that's your final stat line, they'd be pretty happy with it. But not nearly at the break, and that's what the 6'11" center has racked up.
Yeah, he flirts with a triple-double most games.
They play around the perimeter, get it into Ryan Smith. He's 6'6". He's got a guard Turner in practice every day. No easy task, but he's their second biggest player.
Nice move on the baseline. A little turnaround jump shot by Smith. And he gets some space inside because Turner pulls the defense away because he can make three-point shots.
Cut to the basket, stuffed by Turner, his 6th block. Baseline and one. Drive by Hudson Smith, the senior.
Nice finish by 21 in the white, Hudson Smith. At the rim, takes the bump. Straight line drive. A little bit of a bump, not a big one.
And right at the top of the screen there, Turner is celebrating at the top of the key. So he has such an impact all over the floor. They back him out, and under the basket becomes a little bit more open.
But you talk about his celebration. He loves his teammates, loves his school. He's genuinely happy with everybody in the program when they do well. It's not just about him. He's a very humble young man, Miles Turner.
Humble and extremely intelligent as well. His dad told me yesterday, you know how good his vocabulary was? He said when he was about 2 years old, he saw something on a table he wanted. He said, "I'd like that," which is adjacent to the other object. He used the word adjacent as a 2-year-old.
Well, let me tell you, he's a pro as a person, and someday he's going to be a future pro basketball player.
Now, minute 40 to go here in the second quarter. In a double team. And Turner with a rare turnover into the hands of Elijah Lee. Jackson down the lane and the finish.
That was good rotation by Lee. 0-0 in the purple on the double team. Stole that pass.
Exactly where he wants it. Point blank comes out empty.
Well, there's
Jackson
nobody in this
foul.
game, excuse me, nobody in this game can guard Miles Turner. Even Justin Jackson. If he stays behind him, Miles Turner can simply shoot over him. They may have to try fronting him. That means they're going to have to put more pressure on the basketball. But he's so tall, you're just going to throw it over everybody and he'll go up and get it.
Mike Decker, the head coach for HCYA, says of Justin Jackson, a polite guy, a respectful guy. And they've known him since he was about 10 or 11 and started working within that program, rising up the ranks now into his senior year.
I don't know how you game plan against a guy who can do everything. He can score from everywhere on the floor. If you take something away from Justin Jackson, he's going to find another way to beat you.
Lob for Turner, stolen away. Off the fingertips of Jackson. And now the Trojans with 45 seconds. Turner the board and the putback. Sticks it in. He's got 21 of the 31 for Trinity.
Number 11, Josh Hughes did everything he could to try to block out Miles Turner. Just not big enough, not strong enough.
Trinity will need a full 30 seconds of defense on this possession. That is block number 7, probably the easiest one for the 6'11 Turner.
Well, what Homeschool has to do is when they get into the lane, that got to be a pump fake to get Turner off his feet, then give it up or go up strong. You have to shot fake the big man and get him off his feet.
Five seconds now for the Warriors. Turner the board, and that is halftime. Even through the first 16 minutes. 5-point game, and let's go to the studio with Matt Schick in the Sports Center U halftime report.
All right, thanks, guys. Miles Turner showing why he is the #2 overall prospect. A double-double at halftime for Trinity.
You're watching the Geico ESPN High School Showcase in Euless, Texas tonight at Trinity High School, where Miles Turner leads Trinity to a 5-point lead at the half against Justin Jackson and Homeschool Christian out of Houston. Glad to have you along as high school basketball coverage gets underway here tonight with Paul Biancardi, ESPN's National Director of Recruiting, Mike Cousins. And Paul, the first half for 2 of the top 10 players in the ESPN 100. How do you evaluate Turner and Jackson through 16 minutes?
Well, they've been outstanding. You can really see the skill level. Miles Turner, the ability to shoot the 3-point shot, and Justin Jackson, how about his mid-range game? That's where he scores the ball best from. Now, the competition's not the best they've been against, but they're still showing up and they're playing strong.
So 1 half down, 1 to go, and let's take a look at our first half stats brought to you by Geico. 7 blocks for Trinity. Miles Turner has all of them so far. That 5-point edge. And a lot of those shots have come from Justin Jackson, hence the 26% for number 44 and HCYA. Packed house tonight. Big game for these two teams. A lot of special guests as well. Billy Kennedy, the head coach of Texas A&M, made the 3-hour trip up here to Euless, Texas. John Lucas, who enjoyed almost 25 years in the NBA. And then John Calipari, the head coach at the University of Kentucky, trying to woo Miles Turner to Big Blue Nation. And they've got a big class coming in. They've got a 1 in that class. They've got a 3, they've got a 4, they've got a 5. What more can you need?
Well, they want Miles Turner because they want to be the #1 class in the country. Right now, Kentucky sits at #2, and that class has terrific positional size at the 2, 4, and 5. Tyler Ulis will be the best pure point guard that John Calipari has ever coached. He's had scoring point guards like John Wall, Brandon Knight, Marcus Teague, and now Andrew Harrison. Tyler Ulis is going to distribute the basketball for all those guys who can put the ball in the basket.
Justin Jackson, number 8 in the ESPN 100 with 18 points, 7 rebounds that they have. Miles Turner, uncommitted, number 2 in the class, 21 points, 10 boards, and 7 blocks. First shot comes from J.J. Decker. He misses. And Trinity controls here to start the second half.
Now, if I'm Miles Turner and Justin Jackson, I expect a double team every time I catch the ball or I start to put the ball on the floor. So they're going to have to read the double teams and make the right pass.
We talked there about John Lucas as well. Not only did he enjoy a great career in the NBA, but he's also been a critical part of Miles Turner's development.
And what Miles Turner has done in the weekends is goes to Houston for 2 workouts on a Saturday, 1 on a Sunday, to be with John Lucas and what John Lucas likes to call the lab. That's where he gets his work done. One of the great basketball trainers in the country. And he made great points on Miles Turner. Everybody talks about what he can do, but John Lucas is trying to correct him and work on his weakness, and he says, you know, Miles plays too upright. He needs to play low to high. So Lucas is really working on his balance around the rim, and that's going to enhance his game in the paint.
One of the things that you'll hear about John Lucas as well is that he is no holds barred with his evaluations. He tells the guys, you know, Miles Turner, 17. But his evaluations are very harsh because he knows the players can take it and they're going to get better.
Yeah, he's brutally honest. I've had a chance to speak at his basketball camp. Middle school kids, and if they don't work hard and have a good attitude, he says, pack your bags and go home. If you don't want to learn, you don't need to be with me. I mean, he is so good for the game, John Lucas. And every kid that has an opportunity, whether it's in the state of Texas or nationally, should have a chance. He trains pros, college players, high school kids, and he has camps and clinics for the middle school age kids.
And in talking to David Turner, Miles' dad, he said, you know, the decision to have him go and work with an outside coach was tough for me as a dad. I coached him from 5th grade through 9th grade, but you got to at some point let it go and take that to the next level.
And think about that's 8 hours of driving. It's 4 hours from Dallas to Houston. They go on a Saturday morning, they come home on a Sunday night to get 3 workouts in. Miles Turner wants to be the best.
Turner's team still holds a 5-point edge. Smith rejected by Jackson. He runs on the break. Quick turn inside and right over the top of Turner. Jackson now has 20.
Everybody talks about three-point shooting. That mid-range shot along the baseline we just saw Justin Jackson make, that's probably the toughest shot in the game from about 12 or 15 feet. You're on the baseline. Such a soft touch, great extension, release, and rotation on his jumper.
What makes that shot so hard?
Because the distance is not a layup, but it's not a three-point shot, so you really have to gauge your release and your rotation very well, because it's a tough shot on the baseline. It's hard to see the rim. You don't have the backboard to use, so it's one of the most difficult shots in the game.
A fading Lee misses from 15 feet. Smith.
When you're on the baseline, all you can see is the other side of the rim. When you're facing the basket, you can see the backboard and the back of the rim.
Well strong. Hughes corrals it for the HCYA Warriors. The 3 good from Elijah Lee. All of a sudden back to a 2-point game.
Elijah Lee, his nickname is Boogie. Backup point guard last year. This year, senior star. Sophomore star, I'm sorry.
Left hand again, in and out. Turner misses from point-blank range.
He missed because he faded away. When he released that ball, he was backing up. You got to finish where you jump on your shots inside.
And he's not able to swat. Jackson faded and shot over him. Tie game at 33, and now Martinville Lions wants a timeout for the Trinity Trojans. One of the nation's top players highlights ESPNU's Big 12 SEC Challenge. Tomorrow night, Marcus Smart and the Cowboys host the Gamecocks. The Big 12 SEC Challenge with Coach Frank Martin and the South Carolina Gamecocks versus the number 9 Oklahoma State Cowboys tomorrow, 9:30 ESPNU. Also live on Watch ESPN. Not only will Miles Turner be there on an official visit, Marcus Smart, 21 points, 4 assists a game for the Flower Mound, Texas native.
Miles Turner missed that jump hook because see him fading away. He's backpedaling as the ball is in flight. He pulled himself out of the shot. When you shoot the ball, whether it's inside or on the outside, you have to land where you jump from or a little bit forward. You can't be pulling yourself back, fading away.
You told us earlier as we dove into our players to watch him and Justin Jackson, but that Turner is best when he's facing the basket. Where does he need to improve the most?
With his back to the basket in the low post, scoring against a big body. He hasn't scored against physical size and strength very well this year. I mean, he has the touch, he has the release, but he has to learn how to make and maintain contact and use that 6'11" frame.
And let's talk about that too, is, you know, he's going to have to play against bigger physical players. Is that the summer circuit was big for him, but it was really only in April when he started to become a big player at a tournament in Houston.
It was the Great American Shootout run by Mike Kuhnstedt, and then he went to the Spring Icebreaker event run by Jimmy Hicks at RCS Sports, and that's when he became a name in the state of Texas. In fact, our scout Reggie Rankin first saw him at the Spring Icebreaker in Houston and came back raving about him and said, we have to put this guy in the top 10 in our rankings, and at that point we put him at number 10.
Elijah Lee knocks down the jumper. HCYA has surged back from down 5 to up 3. And
that's the beauty of spring and summer events. the exposure. You know, Miles Turner had a chance to get seen on a national level. Then he went to the Under Armour Invitational in Dallas. I saw him in May. LeBron James Skill Academies. And he had a chance to go against the best and be seen by everyone. That's the great thing about the spring and the summer.
Foul on the shot, but Justin Jackson, double-digit scoring, has made it a 3-point edge for HCYA here in the third.
You think and you cry. That's a full day. That's a heck of a day.
If that doesn't move you, I don't know what will. To donate during Jimmy V Week, head to jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. My cousins, Paul Biancardi, and Paul, when you were a young up-and-coming coach in the college ranks, I know you got a chance to meet Jimmy V.
Well, I wasn't up and coming, but I was young, Mike. I was at Boston University, and Mike Jarvis was the head coach, and we went down to NC State for a game, and we got waxed by Jimmy V's team. And so I was walking through the halls, and I saw him and Derek Wittenberg, and they were having a slice of pizza, and I said, that's my chance to go up and say hello. When I went up and said, hi, Coach Valvano, with Paul Biancardi, he said, hey, you want a slice of pizza or what? And it just, you know, I'll remember that the rest of my life. But speaking about beating cancer, if you haven't been to Dick Vitale's gala in Sarasota, Florida, Dick Vitale does an unbelievable job of raising money. Go to his website, dickiev.com. I've been there a couple of times, and moving stories by the people that have had cancer and beat it, and by others who have lost cancer. And Dickie V raises $1 million in one night and just does the absolute best job to help beat that awful disease.
All a great cause. Here at Trinity High School in Euless, Texas, 3:30 to go in the third quarter. And a matchup of two of the top 10 players in the ESPN 100. Miles Turner at number 2, Justin Jackson at number 8.
Speaking of Dickie V, did you know 35 years ago today was his first major game on ESPN, DePaul at Wisconsin. Thank goodness for Dick Vitale.
Smart move to get it out of the paint. No chance to give Turner his 8th block. Off the window, in and out. And tipped out to HCYA. Decker for 3.
Nice two-handed rebound by Miles Turner. You know, you can't worry about who the competition is. You can't control the score of the game, but what you can control is how you approach the game. And Turner went after that with 2 hands like he should.
That's a 3. Just down from Turner.
He gets a point and a half for that, right? It was halfway down.
How dangerous will that make him at the next level, that he's able to shoot outside like that?
Oh, extremely dangerous, because once he learns how to use his frame inside, 3-point shot there by the Homeschool team, he's going to be able to be a mismatch. He can go outside, he can go inside, and who are you going to cover him with? Put somebody smaller, he's going to eventually punish them inside. Somebody less mobile will never be able to cover him at the high post.
Shot from Wong down to Turner. Goes back the other way. Turner wanted it. Now the officials converge. Turner gets the call.
When we talk about Turner being a very good shooter, an excellent passer, he's also a very good straight line driver. So if there's space on the floor and he learns how to play a little bit lower, actually a lot lower, he'll be able to drive past other big men.
Timeout taken by Euless as they try and get it in. Trailing by 4 here in the third quarter. They led by 5 at the break. Trying to find different ways for Turner to be able to score. And I know the comparison that you like with Miles Turner is with Anthony Davis. 2 guys who have come up similarly through the ranks.
They have. They both were late bloomers in terms of ranking. But when you talk about Anthony Davis, in my mind, he was a better shot blocker because he had better shot blocking range. You look at our top 10, and any of those guys really you could put inside the top 5. Okafor right now holds the #1 spot, but Turner is challenging Cliff Alexander plays with great effort and energy, and Tyus Jones at one time was the #1 player in the class of 2014. That's a strong top 10.
Jones will just have to settle for being the #1 point guard instead.
Not too shabby. Him and Okafor made their decision to play for Coach K at Duke.
Now the #1 recruiting class headed to Shesheskyville.
They also have a young man by the name of Grayson Allen. Don't sleep on him. A 6'4" two-guard who's athletic and can score.
Tremendous three-point shooter.
Great three-point shooter and a fearless driver. They have Justice Winslow from Houston. Great versatile defender.
8 blocks now for Turner. 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks shy of a triple-double.
And Duke's still trying for Miles Turner.
They are in the mix.
You know, wherever he goes, he's going to have to play with other great players. And that's just the fact of college basketball. There's always going to be great players wherever you go. So people say, can he play with Okafor? Of course he can play with Okafor. Can he play with Cliff Alexander? Yes, he can. Karl Towns. Miles Turner could fit anywhere.
Adrian Wong fouled as he drives in. So he'll head to the free throw line. Turner chatting with his head coach, Mark Valines. That's one of the things that you get from talking to Miles Turner, is that he is very humble. Not only that, but also intelligent and well-spoken. He's a great representative of this entire class of 2014.
Because there's no entitlement with Miles Turner. He understands that he's a great player. Someday will be a pro. But his work ethic hasn't changed. He's a great teammate. And how many times can you say that about great players, that they're great teammates? He loves his teammates, and his teammates love him. That's why there's chemistry on this team. And really, the class of 214, Mike, we got some high-character kids in that class. Okafor is an outstanding young man. Tyus Jones, Stanley Johnson, just a group of really good players that are good people.
Long drives, fires, and scores. Tied at 39.
That was a pretty pull-up by Adrian Wong.
Jackson quiet so far here in the third. Only 3 second-half points, and he's fouled.
But that was great defense by Jackson. See the way he got right up into Justice Jackson? Took his space away. You got to be physical with him. Try to bump him off the ball a little bit without getting called for a foul.
Jackson outside the lane, short.
Nice inbounds play. Screen for the inbounder, got an open shot.
$20 seconds to get one look here. Put your money on Miles Turner.
You may see him in a ball screen situation. He'll sprint up, set a ball screen, and then pop or roll. There's the ball screen. He didn't roll very hard, so he rescreens him.
Trinity back in front. Miles Turner without a single point in the third quarter, still making a great impact.
Well, Miles Turner doesn't have to score to impact the game. That time he set a ball screen, reach screen. The big man changes the game.
So we head to the fourth quarter, a 2-point game here in Euless, Texas. Justin Jackson, Miles Turner squaring off. And how about Miles Turner? After his sophomore year, spring basketball broke his right ankle. Nobody knew who he was. He didn't get to play on the AAU circuit this summer, ranked number 10 in the ESPN 100. And when those new rankings came out at the start of the school year, all the way up to number 2 in the country. It has been a quick rise for him, and part of a great class of big men here in 2014.
Well, when you don't play in the summertime, you're out of mind, out of sight. So he only had a chance to play in-state, but he played on the national circuit this past summer. He was everywhere. And our scout, Reggie Rankin, was the first to see him for ESPN at the Spring Icebreaker event. And that's when he kind of got his national reputation. After that, we put him at number 10 in the country, and he was outstanding all summer long. He went to the NBA camp. We saw John Lucas earlier. He's the director of the NBA camp. Miles Turner was an all-star at that camp, LeBron James Skill Academies. He was tremendous, and we moved him up to number 2. I mean, he dominated the competition most of the time, and the competition was the best this summer.
And that summer when he had that broken right ankle, he said he would hobble to the weight room every day, lift weights. He put on 35 pounds. He fights for the board, gets it, misses right in front of the basket.
Two great athletes, Miles Turner, Justin Jackson at the rim.
Fouled and 2 shots coming for Jackson.
We talk about the versatility of Justin Jackson. He gets the defensive rebound. He takes the ball coast to coast, draws the foul. When he gets in a full court mode, he can attack and score, stop and make the pass. I mean, really, when you game plan against him, what are you going to take away? The three-point shot is his weakness, and at one time, he was a very good three-point shooter. Then he worked on his mid-range game and got that strong. Once he gets that three-point shot polished, I mean, he scores from all 3 levels: behind the arc, mid-range, and at the rim.
Miles Turner is undecided. Justin Jackson headed to North Carolina. What type of a difference does it make for a senior to have made his commitment, have signed a letter of intent, or to still be playing the field?
Well, if you're signed, then you can concentrate on your team and your performance, and also follow the team that you're committed to. If you're unsigned, that means you still have to go through the process. There's a lot of distractions. Coaches are in the stands, a lot of text messages, phone calls. And it could be a distraction to your athletic and your academic performance. But the one thing about recruiting is you can't make your decision until you're ready.
Adrian Wong drops it a long 2. Lead back to 6 for Trinity. Couple head coaches here today. Billy Kennedy from Texas A&M. John Calipari from Kentucky. And Chris Ogden, an assistant to Rick Barnes at Texas, all here today.
You know, Miles Turner, they're going to chase him and flock after him until he says yes to somebody. The one thing about recruiting, when you're the top unsigned player in the nation, it doesn't go away. It only gets worse.
Well, Turner has said he wants to postpone it just to be a high school senior, to know what it's like.
But he's doing it for the right reasons. A lot of guys like to do it for the attention. Miles Turner is doing it because he's researching the schools. He's watching style of play. He's not ready. You know, he's taking a good look at the 7 schools.
Arizona, Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, and Texas are the 7 for Turner, number 2 in the ESPN 100. Scheduled to visit Oklahoma State, an official visit tomorrow. Wong again misses. Turner draws the double, scores anyway. 25.
6'11" with an enormous wingspan. You could see the footwork, very fluid. That's the work he does with John Lucas on the weekends. As he plays the game from low to high and starts to sit down in the post, he's going to be a much more effective scorer inside.
He defends the rim as well. Foul called on Turner. Coming up tomorrow, one of the most talented freshmen in the country headlines ESPN's journey to the tourney is Julius Randle, and the number 3 Kentucky Wildcats represent the SEC against Big 12 standout Isaiah Austin and the number 20 ranked Baylor Bears. Big 12 SEC Challenge, part of Journey to the Tourney, Friday, 10 o'clock on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN.
We were talking about Julius Randle earlier, and we said last year he was the most physically imposing high school senior, be the most physically imposing freshman. I think he's the most physically imposing player in college basketball right now. I mean, there's nobody that can stop that guy. Powerful, strong, with skill. He's got 37 offensive rebounds right now for the Kentucky Wildcats.
And Randle from McKinney, Texas, just about 35 minutes north of Dallas. From the corner, 3, good for Darius Dunn, the senior. Trinity has now doubled its halftime lead, up by 10. Number 9 Miles Turner is one block shy of a triple-double.
Now, usually when he blocks shots, he keeps them in play. That time, he just swatted that baby out of bounds.
Homeschool Christian takes a timeout, down by 10, with 4:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. Well, we know that the Lone Star State is primarily a football state. They're still going, but when you talk about the state of Texas in basketball, last year they were all over the McDonald's All-American roster.
And Texas is way more than a football state, and a lot has to do with the teaching in the state and the exposure. There's more AAU teams than ever before. You got people like John Lucas in Houston training the athletes, so they're getting better teaching. It's a combination of better teaching and more exposure. This state is very fertile when it comes to recruiting.
We talk about some of the great AAU programs. Miles Turner, Texas Select. Justin Jackson, Houston Hoops. Also Kelly Oubre on that team as well.
And Justice Winslow. And right there you're looking at 5 potential McDonald's All-Americans. There's 5 of the top 15 players in the ESPN 100. That's pretty strong.
These two players tonight have combined for 47 points. Jackson looking for more. No good. That's a walk.
And that's what he does, Miles Turner. He doesn't have to block every shot to be effective. By just standing there with your hands up, you can change your shot, force a turnover, just like that with the travel. He makes you think on offense. And once you think on offense too much, you're not as effective.
Long has played a supporting role very well. He's got 12 backing up Turner's 25. Biggest lead of the game now for Trinity. Just about 4 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter.
We know who Batman's going to be in both of these teams. We need a Robin to step up, and Adrian Wong has been very good tonight for Trinity High School.
Jackson, rebound and a putback, sticks it in. He's got 24. Still plenty of high school season left for the class of 2014, but we looked at those All-Americans from last year now excelling in the college game. What's the biggest transition from going from the high school game to the college game?
I think it's the speed of the game. Nice layup there by Jackson. The speed of the game, the physicality of the game. And there's a mental part, the attention to detail. The scouting reports are so much more in depth in college than they are in high school. So, you know, every freshman hits a mental wall during the season. A lot of things that have to change when you go from high school to college. There's a big learning curve. And defense, you know, most of these guys are stars offensively, not because of their defensive game. Even though Miles Turner is a great shot blocker, he's going to have to learn how to play man-to-man or zone defense. He can't rely on blocking shots all game long.
HCYA scores. Turner got caught on the outside trying to double up Jackson. That's one of the things, too, for Jackson. For his 18-year-old frame, college coaches are going to want him to add weight to that body, but not get bulky, right?
Absolutely. It's the type of guy who needs to get stronger, but not bigger.
Turner. 27 points for Miles Turner. And an answer at the other end by Justin Jackson.
Miles Turner has a smooth jump shot. This time he's rolling to the basket. A ferocious slam. There's the reaction.
Geico ESPN High School Basketball Showcase is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Two of the country's top 10 players, Miles Turner, Justin Jackson, going at it here tonight in Euless, Texas. 6-point game. I got to tell you, one of the best days of 2013 for me was Tuesday, because Paul Biancardi followed me on Twitter. You too can get in the conversation. Hashtag AskCoachB on Twitter.
Well, the question right there is, does Justin Jackson need to put on more weight? Does he have the type of game where the weight isn't a huge factor? You know, he has a body like Tayshaun Prince. He's long and athletic and lean. He needs to get stronger, but he has to be careful not to get bulky. And where he needs to get stronger is from the waist down. He has to play more with his legs and get a strong center of gravity. And he'll do that. You don't want to get too bulky when you're a fluid offensive player.
So how does he do that? Is he doing squats, or what kind of exercises is he going to do to try and add that weight?
Well, squats will be part of it. Leg extensions, leg curls, running up hills are great for building strength in your legs. And then obviously all the Olympic movements in the weight room under the supervision of a strength and conditioning coach.
Jackson signed his letter of intent to play for Roy Williams in the University of North Carolina next season. Eight states in the country have a shot clock in high school basketball. Texas is not one of them.
Why? Why don't we have a universal shot clock in the game with a universal time?
I mentioned that it's a 5-point lead right now, and Euless doesn't have to take a shot here.
And see, it ruins the flow of a game. It's keep away. That's not basketball.
This is just the beginning of high school hoops coverage. Next Thursday, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Whitney Young out of Illinois, Apple Valley, Minnesota. Jahlil Okafor and Tyus Jones both are headed to Duke next year, and they will square off next Thursday, 7 Eastern. That'll be a good one.
That's going to be a great game. Tyus Jones, the best point guard in the nation. Jahlil Okafor, the best player and best center in the nation, both going to Duke. You know, that Whitney Young team is really strong. They have another player by the name of Paul White. He's going to Georgetown. They're going to be a tough out for Apple Valley.
That was, if you followed our coverage all summer long, if you heard the term package deal, those were the two guys we talked about.
It was, but I like to call it more of the plan. You know, package deal, I think, is something that you do in last second. You try to arrange it. They've been planning this since they played USA basketball together 9 months ago. So this plan has been in the works, and Justice Winslow was part of that conversation, and he joined this class as well.
So they jump up to the #1 class as Okafor and Jones made their commitments last week. So they add Justice Winslow, a small forward. Grayson Allen, as you said, one of the best shooters in the country. I think what's so amazing about that is Grayson Allen is such a great player, and he came off the bench on his AAU team.
That was each one, teach one. You know, we don't know what Duke's going to lose. Is Jabari Parker going to leave or not? Rodney Hood, is he good enough to be drafted? But you got Quinn Cook coming back, Matt Jones. You're going to have a really good team at Duke next year. Marshall Plumlee's going to get better inside. I mean, they're going to have a chance for a Final Four with that freshman class.
Miles Turner is still considering Duke and wants to set up a business there. His dad, David, has said that he and Jahlil Okafor could easily coexist in the front court at Duke.
Just ask that guy right there, Nate James. He'll tell you that. Duke in the house. I mean, you would never stop recruiting Miles Turner, regardless of what you had in your program. He can fit with anybody, anywhere. He's good enough that he's going to be a star wherever he goes.
65 seconds to play. A 5-point lead for Trinity, led by Miles Turner. 29 boards for him, or 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 9 blocks. And now Josh Hughes is forced to foul for HCYA.
See, if there was a shot clock in the game, Michael, then Trinity would have to shoot it. And HCYA would have the opportunity to come down and try to score. But right now, this is just a game of keep away. It takes the flow of basketball away.
Mark Valines, the head coach for Euless Trinity, told us earlier this week he'd like to see a shot clock in the game that would pick up the pace, and late in the game like this would force better coaching.
Absolutely. There's so much more coaching at a shot clock. Right now, you got to foul or trap. You can't let the clock run. That's your enemy. You're going to trap it, a foul.
They want the foul. They get it with 32.4. Now a long trip here for Justin Jackson and Homeschool Christian coming up from Houston. Right now on the south end of a 5-point game.
Too much time went off the clock for HCYA. They should have fouled seconds ago. And they got to block out and get down the court as quickly as possible. And understand it's not going to be easy to get to the rim.
Decker drives and fires right through the net. 3-point game.
Now they got to pick up man-to-man and foul right away. That's good. The clock is the enemy right now, not the score.
19.7, and they'll walk it back the other way. 8th foul against Homeschool Christian. You know, HCYA, despite being a homeschool program, all their games are on the road, but they travel and they play some pretty big competition. Last year, they squared off against Prime Prep down here in Texas and LeBron James' former high school, St. Mary's in Akron, Ohio. And both coaches have said it as well. Without having a Justin Jackson or a Miles Turner, they don't play in these bigger tournaments or bigger games.
They don't get a chance for exposure all the time.
Jackson today, 29 points. Came in averaging 32 through their first 11 games.
Got a violation on the shooter. Shooter has to wait until the ball hits the rim. Adrian Wong went in there a little bit too early.
Jackson and Turner, 29 points apiece. Miles Turner a block shy of a triple-double. Ball down to Trinity, and it goes back to HCYA with 5.8. Two-possession game, though.
So if you're Trinity, you have to be careful and know that your opponent's going to probably shoot a three-point shot. Whatever you do, just don't foul. Stand straight up, get away from the shooter. I wouldn't go anywhere near the shooters right now for Trinity.
Now, if there's anything we learned, don't foul a three-point shooter. If you watch that Duke-Vermont game earlier this year, the Catamounts almost had an upset because of a 4-point play.
You mean the foul that was called that wasn't a foul?
You could also say that at the other end on the final possession for Duke.
I know. But right now, HCYA, they're going to have to be really diligent in their defense out of bounds. I'm sorry, in their offense out of bounds, in their execution. You're probably going to see Justin Jackson throw it in and get it back for a quick three-point shot.
Jackson inbounds. 3 from Lee. No. Miss on the follow, and that does it. Miles Turner leads Euless to a win. What a game for the Euless Trinity Trojans.
Well, the Stars showed up tonight in Dallas. Justin Jackson was outstanding. Miles Turner was better. He led his team to a victory tonight.
So that does it, 57-53, Trinity the win. Coming up next, college football weekend kickoff. We say goodnight from Trinity High School in Euless, Texas.